Welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at OOP in Python, and that stands for Object-Oriented Programming. And this is a huge programming paradigm that's used in loads and loads of applications. And the idea is that instead of using functions and other parts of code, everything is based as an object, hence it's object-oriented. And so what do we mean by an object? So an object could really be a person, could be a chair, could be a table, could be an animal, could even be a picture. The idea is that an object has attributes. For example, an animal may have a fur color, a table might have a style, chair might have a backrest, a person might have a name. And all these different attributes make up the object alongside its methods. And methods are things that it can do. So for example, an animal might be able to walk. A human might be able to do a calculation. And there are loads of different types of methods and types of attributes that we'll have a look at later. But the key here is to kind of understand what object-oriented programming is and how important it is. Another thing is that once you've defined what an object is, you can just create copies of it. So let's say we have a chair that's an object. We create lots of different chairs and, for example, change the color of each one. We're not going to create our own object now. We're going to use one we've already been using, which is Python Turtle. So as always, we start by importing Turtle. So we can import everything, but I'm just going to import Turtle. And there are a few other objects you can import from Turtle, but this is the one we'll be using. So I'm going to define some constant n, and this is going to be our number of turtles. And I'll set it to 5. And then we want to create a list of turtles. So I'm going to set my list just equal to 5 turtles. So what we do is we create a turtle. And you call it like it's a function, but it's not. And then we'll have n of those. And then we'll go loop through these turtles. And then for each turtle, we're going to rotate it a certain number of degrees. Because we want here to have a number as well as just the turtle, so that we can rotate a certain number of degrees. What I'll do is you also put I, which is going to stand for the index. And then we're going to have to use zip. And we're going to zip turtles. And then range, because we know that n is the length of turtles already. And so we're going to command each turtle individually. And so for the turtle, you can get it to rotate. And we want it to rotate I divided by n multiplied by 360 degrees. So now if we run this, all our turtles should be facing in different directions. So to make this more clear, because they'll all be on top of each other, I'll then get them to go forwards. And this will just be 100 pixels. And we could run it in the usual way, but actually I'm going to show you a different way of running it, which is where you type in the shell, Python. If you haven't got the shell, you can do control backtick, and then the name of the lesson is lesson. I'm going to do tab to complete it, 17, and then OOP dot py. And this is PowerShell, so it's got a dot slash at the beginning. If you're using something like the command prompt or a different bash, it might just have the name. But because there are spaces, it will very likely be in quotation marks. And then just press enter and it will run. And we can see immediately it says that turtle has no attribute rotate. And the reason we're getting this error is because it's not actually rotate, but underscore rotate. And this is so you don't get it confused with the other rotate. But I'll run it again. And you can see that it's doing it, but then it's rotating. Because what actually is happening is that we're creating a turtle, and then we're using the same turtle across all of these ends. So we're going to rewrite this code a bit. So firstly, we'll change this. We'll say that turtles is equal to a blank list. Then we'll initialize the turtles here. So currently there's nothing in there. So we'll just keep range n. And we need to define a turtle. So what we'll do is we'll say turtle is equal to, and then turtle, and then we'll rotate it, and then we won't go forward yet, but we'll then, and we'll append this turtle to the longer list. So we initialize it, we rotate it, and then we put it in this list, which we'll then use later. So then afterwards here, I'll just get them to go forwards, but I'll remove that a bit later. So now if we run it, we can see that we've got 5 turtles going in different directions. And it looks alright, but I think one thing that would be nice is if we put this separately. So now we're going to get all the turtles to keep going forwards. So I'm going to just repeat this 10 times. So I'm going to use an underscore and repeat it 10 times. Maybe actually I'll repeat it 50 times, it's a bit more clear. And then put a colon. And then 50 times we're going to loop through turtles. And we'll put a colon. And we'll do turtle dot forward, but I'll just make it go forwards 10. And so this just means we're repeating this bit 50 times. And so I'll run it again. There we go. And it looks, because they're all moving at very similar speeds, that they're all moving out at the same time, which is quite cool. And so what we've got here is we've got this turtle object. So we initialize it a bit like a function, and then we're controlling each turtle individually. And that's one of the powers of object-oriented programming. Because if we just had functions, then and we wanted to do something like that, we'd have to do each one individually. And of course, it doesn't make that much difference for this sort of project, but in larger projects, you might be controlling drones instead of turtles, and you might want each drone to act individually. So having some kind of controller would be a lot more useful. And object-oriented programming is a huge topic, so there'll be a lot more on this. And this is probably the most simple version of it. You get some stuff in object-oriented programming that you wouldn't have heard of. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, created something cool. If you want to customize it with color, feel free. And I'll see you again same time next week. Till then.